Namaskar, I'm Ashok Vyas, and I'm delighted to be sitting with someone who, for us in New York, represents Indian government in a very special way. And while we look up to Consul General of India in New York for several aspects that relates to our community, and while I have Binanti Srikant Pradhanji with me, once again I welcome you on behalf of all the members of Indian American community here, as well as on behalf of ITV Gold and Parry Worldwide Media. When we meet for the first time, it it is relevant to learn more about you, and little bit that I have come to know tells me that you have associated or you have served representative India at Russia, the Pakistan, Tanzania. Some of these countries are very much in the news, and your focus has been on energy diplomacy and. But today, as we meet, it's a very historical and culturally significant day, 22nd January. How do you see the larger or long-term impact of what has happened in the presence of Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi ji? Of course, I'm referring to Ayodhya and Ram Janambhoomi Tirth Sthan.
Thank you. It's good to be with the ITV and through you, getting a chance to talk to your viewers. Coming to the issue that you raised about, today being 22nd of January, and as you could see, there is a lot of excitement among the Indian community. Yesterday evening, I saw, several events being organized across, the United States. And if I talk about the Northeast, which I represent, I found everywhere in each of the 10 states there are events organized, and community on their, community organizations on their own, they organized various events. It shows the excitement, it shows the cultural connect, it shows the spiritual connect that our community, still has with India. So I'm only 7 days old here. I joined last Monday, so this is my rather 6th working day in your country. But I'm really thrilled to see the connect that the Indian diaspora retains with India, and it gives you a sense as if you have come home. So in that way, I was really happy. And coming to your other question about the developments in India, I would say this is a great time to be in India. This is a great time to represent India. And this is also a great time to see things that are happening in India. As you know, the government, under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi, has declared that we would be a developed nation by 2047. So I would say these are the years when everybody, including public servants like me, we are trying our best to work towards that objective, to make India a developed nation. And it's very relevant to be in United States at this point of time, because this relationship is going to also play a big role, in contributing towards that objective, while also contributing towards the objective of a better United States. I for one, I believe that India-US partnership is a win-win partnership for both the countries. But in the context of India becoming a developed country, certainly this is an important relationship. So it's an exciting time to be an Indian, to be in India, and also exciting time to be in United States representing India.
Absolutely. And talking about excitement, when you opted for Indian Foreign Service and you learnt several languages, and Russian being one of them, of course, Odia being your native language, how was learning Russia? And if you relate something from the impression that you gathered while you were in Russia, the reason I bring it up have many dimensions that relates to Indo-US relationship also. So in the context of the current equation with India's position with respect to Russia and America, the kind of equation that India enjoyed at the time while you were there and where we have moved, has the nil moved a lot, or it is a similar sort of range?
I learned Russian long back. That was in 2004. And in our civil service, when you join Indian Foreign Service, you learn a foreign language. So that's how I went to Russia, learned Russian. And then subsequently, I was posted in Russia in 2019 for 2 years as Deputy Chief of Mission, as a Deputy Ambassador. Uh, Coming to our relationship with Russia, it's a very solid relationship which has stood the test of time, and we are very close partners even today. And that is a relationship which stands on its own merit. And I don't see a reason why one should mix the two. India's relationship with the United States has its own strength. I believe that it's truly a defining relationship, in 21st century, having immense potential. And I feel that we have only touched the, only the tip of the iceberg. So it's a relationship which has unlimited potential. But simultaneously, India-Russia relationship is also a strong, robust relationship. So I would say we as diplomats, our job is to see the best possible outcomes in a relationship. The relationship with Russia has stood the test of time, even during difficult moments, whether it is security issue or energy issue. We have benefited from that relationship. So I don't think there should be any reason why we should mix the two. Our relationship with Russia has, not affected in any way our relationship with United States.
Yeah, I think what you said, it's quite logical from India's point of view. But Russia-India equation, USA tried to sort of tilt a little bit in terms of the current scenario where Ukraine, Russia have that war happening, and India continuing to buy oil, moving to the other reference with respect to Russia, and then that is like an umbrella of India's foreign policy approach these days. The presence of Indian foreign minister in Russia and beyond protocol, President Putin meeting Indian foreign minister, it is, as a layman, we see as a big deal. As a diplomat, how do you read this?
I would say, like I said, the relationship with Russia is a very special relationship. It's a strong, robust relationship. I would not define the way you are defining that, breaking protocol to meet Indian foreign minister. It's not, a head of state meeting Indian foreign minister is quite logical, quite natural. I would not say it is breaking protocol or anything extraordinary. Indian foreign minister deserves that, stature. So I don't see, I won't read too much into that.
Okay.
I would say, that relationship is going to remain strong as it is today. But I, as an Indian representative today in United States, I would focus on the great opportunities that we are having with the United States. And, I would look at the roadmap about what new things we can add into this relationship. Any relationship is like a bouquet of flowers. Our job should be to add new elements, new flowers, make it more colorful, make it richer. That is our objective. And I look great potential in that aspect, and that would be my focus here.
Yeah, absolutely. Let us move with your focus, and that is the interest for me as well as for our viewers. And while you find yourself in this ladder of opportunity, I would say, with a lot of opportunities of increasing, enhancing relationship between India and America, what role you see that Indian Americans are already playing or may play?
This is the first time I'm on a diplomatic assignment on a long-term basis in United States. But this is not my first visit to your country. I have been coming here for now 12 years, and I have worked with many Indian American friends. When I was working in the Ministry of Petroleum, we used to come every year to Houston to participate in CERA Week and meet the energy sector stakeholders. And I got opportunities to work with Indian American friends. So I'm aware about the positive role that Indian diaspora, Indian community plays here. I'm aware about the rich contribution they have made in bringing the two countries together. So it's a strength. We celebrate the success of Indian community here. We feel proud of their success. So this is the first time I'm, working as a diplomat deployed in your country. But like I said, I'm aware about their role they have played. In last 1 week that I have stayed here, I have met many leaders of Indian community. Yesterday we were having a virtual farewell to the Indian ambassador, Ambassador Taranjit Sandhu, and that was a time when I got to hear the views of Indian community about the embassy, about the consulates, and also the views of Indian ambassador about the Indian diaspora. That reinforced my belief that this is a very special community. This Indian diaspora that we have here, both Indian Americans and the Indian passport holders, it's a more than 5 million strong community, and it is a world in itself because it has American citizens, it has Indian passport holders, it has a huge chunk of Indian students, it has second generation Indo-Americans. So it's a very very healthy mix of all possible set of people, and all of them in their own way are contributing while contributing to the betterment of United States. They're also contributing to deepening of our relationship. So I look forward to work with them. I'm happy to note in last 1 week that the consulate has a very healthy tradition of working with different Indian communities, whether it is communities for the sake of community or economic sector or the technology aspect or our community in the spiritual sector. We are working with all of them. I intend to take that engagement to the next level of closer interaction. And I also want to keep our focus, which has remained our primary focus, to help the community which is in need of the assistance of the Indian consulate. That has remained a focus for which we have made several initiatives, but I also want to keep that engagement with them.
Absolutely. I'm so happy, and I'll bring a commonality that I see, of course, with all Indians, but especially with you right now and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He referred to himself as Pradhan Sevak, and you have Pradhan as your last name, Binanti Srikant Pradhan ji. So, Pradhan ji, I relate the historical backdrop of Indo-US relationship and role of Indian Americans, and I'm also delighted that I'm right now talking to you for ITV Gold, and the chairman of ITV Gold, Padma Shri recipient Dr. Sudhir Parikh, was also instrumental in the initial formation of Indian caucus. And I heard about how it became, like as you said, a flower and then a garden and whatnot. Then we have White House also celebrating Deepavali, and many important festivals which relates to Indian culture are observed deeply. Talking about the concerns of the community with which they come to the consulate, you are familiar with the basic services that
Right.
Consulate is offering. Do you see there is, in 7 days, you felt that there are some concerns that people have? Let me connect with OCI, and so sometimes people are confused as to what the outsourcing, and they are not getting the proper response to their queries, etc.
In last 7 days, I have come across both the aspects of our consular services. I have mostly heard good things about the progress that has happened in the last few years. There has been a lot of appreciation about the digital services that we are providing now. For example, now there is a portal called Pramit.
Yes.
So you put your query there, not only consular but even otherwise, like your trade queries, other things, you will get a reply. And the system is devised in a way that if we are not able to respond properly, it will come to me. So it's not going into some kind of a dark hole. So in addition to that, now we have a chatbot, the Bharti service. So we are receiving about 500 queries, and we are responding to that. We are also having a kind of online app, which is the Consulate General of India app, which is providing respond to people. But despite all these things, there would be still issues. and people who would not be able to reach out to us. That is the reason why in last few years we have intensified the the approach of reaching out to people. So we last year, for example, we did 13 consular camps in all the 10 states. That is basically to reach out to the states, doing consular camps along with Indian diaspora organizations, reaching out to people beforehand, informing that them we are coming. So we would provide them solutions at their doorstep. That has been the approach. Similarly, we are working with different communities, whether it is Gurudwara or other places. We go to them, tell them to mobilize their people, so if they have some issue, some problem, to resolve that. Having said that, I would not be surprised if we still have cases where we are unable to reach to the people. Like on last week, somebody suggested me that probably there would be some women who are not in a very great financial situation. They would probably be requiring the assistance from consulate more often than others. So I would say that I'm open to using new platforms, open to using new means to reach out to everybody. If we receive a complaint, our effort would be to resolve it within the same day. In fact, I'm so happy to see that the consulate here is providing passport within 24 hours, is providing OCI card within 20 to 25 days, even reissue of passports we are trying to do within 24 hours, and we are open 24/7 on all 7 days. So there are instances of providing services on Saturday, Sunday. Our colleagues voluntarily come on the weekend to provide some emergency service if required. So as you know, the government's focus is, like you started with Pradhan Sevak, I would say irrespective of my surname, the approach has been to project ourselves as a service providing organization, to give the confidence to the people that we are here for that. That remains our primary purpose, and we would not be complacent about that. We would not be having any will not give that comfort to ourselves that we are doing already enough and there is no scope of improvement.
So let me relate, because I come from media and I see that the role of communication and having the right information, and many times people need sort of a repetition to get clear about, for example, questions like, if I have a new American passport, do I need additional steps that needs to be taken for the OCI card that I already hold? So there could be some small themes about which people will have questions. Now, how do you see Consul office is looking forward to partnering with media? And I would also assure you that almost all the media is in sync with the spirit with which you are here, and especially there is so much excitement about Bharat these days that not only people want to learn more about India, but they want to do from their bit. So in that context, how do you see the additional role that media can play?
I think it's a good suggestion. In fact, we would look forward to have media as partner, and that helps us. That helps us to reach to everybody. That helps us to clarify our position and send the information to all the people who require to get that information. Coming to the steps that you mentioned, we actually felt it. I was briefed last week that when we introduced this AI-enabled platform, we had limited number of queries. So you give a query, it will be generating the response. We realized that we are not addressing all the possible queries. So based upon the feedback we received, now we have made it elaborate. So even smaller queries like you mentioned about somebody getting a new American passport, does he have to change his OCI card? Does he have to come and inform here? Does it involve any extra registration process? All those questions are natural questions. And we have added those questions in the AI-enabled platform to address them. I'm sure that would be a work in progress, constantly having scope to upgrade it, because agent, when you find new questions coming and you are not already answering them, we should keep updating them to answer those questions. But what you added about the role of media, that cannot be understated. So the more you do, it's better. I would rather request your ITV Gold, or other channels to work with us, and we'll be more than happy to work with you on that.
And in fact, we will be happy to work with you as well as other media's partners would also be happy. And I think there is a sense of common purpose that not only unites us, but that also energizes us. And if I backtrack and you refer to, you have come, while you were uh, talking about your coming to New York, you said, I have come to your country. So when I hear your country, and indeed I'm an American citizen, yet we feel so much a part of India that when you say your country, I thought you were saying about someone else. And then, so technically, when you become an American citizen, India continues to be a part of you. And especially with the overseas citizenship of India, you have that additional emotional
right.
connect. So, talking about emotions, and since we will have more opportunity to sit with you, but looking at your 2 decades plus experience of being in this foreign service, what would you say are the top 2 things that your experience of serving in different countries, representing India, has taught you?
I would say, I noticed few things which are the new things that are happening. Like, for example, when you say that you are representing India as an Indian diplomat now, you feel that the people you are talking to, the interlocutors, they are better aware about India. In 2005, 2006, I would probably have to tell people about Indian economic progress. I would have to educate people about the social structure of India. I would have to educate people about the strength of India. I would have to do a better marketing about why they should come to India. Now I would say people already know a lot of things about India. People ask questions about better understanding of a certain aspect, but people know about India. And the natural extension is that people take India more seriously. So when you say that you are representing India, you are taken really seriously now. So at a personal level, I would say this is a good time to be an Indian diplomat because you are heard with more attention now. That is one thing I have noticed, and as I said, it's about India. India is now taken more seriously. The second thing I noticed is that acceptability of Indian culture or Indian philosophy or Indian way of life. So, I feel that you go to any country now, you will find some reflection of Indian culture, Indian way of life being already part of that country. So when I go to a country like Tanzania, I work there. It is natural to find Indian culture to be part of the mainstream there because Indian diaspora has been there for 200 years. But you go to even countries where Indian diaspora has not been there for a long time, you find Indian yoga already being popular. You find Indian Ayurveda already being popular. You find Indian cuisine already having found its rightful place. You find the Indian let's say some classical form of dance, some Indian festivals, some Indian costume already being part of the mainstream, and you will find at a commercial level people are already marketing them. So that is a new thing I am noticing. So now I feel that Indian embassies, Indian consulates are not the sole promoter of Indian culture. Rather, we find other people already doing it in a much extensive manner.
You see, I will also give a lot of credit to Prime Minister Narendra Modi for making effective use of social media.
Yeah.
And he was actually forerunner, and the number of followers he has on his Facebook page or Twitter, etc., that is like mind-boggling. But coming to the place where we are sitting right now in Manhattan, and here also we have n number of yoga studios, and of course United Nations headquarters is also here, which announced 21st June as International Day of Yoga. Now from yoga I come to your personal side. Whatever you are doing, being a family man, taking care of 2 daughters is one side of your personality. Then taking care of several responsibilities as a Consul General here also. So there are possibilities of certain moments when you are under stress. Now, how do you handle those kind of moments? What is your personal habit system in place which helps you in having this smile?
I would say it's like any other Indian person. So we, with age, at a young age you probably lead a different lifestyle, but with age, in 40s you lead a very different lifestyle. So I have my two daughters, I have my wife, and I have my mother also. She's 86. She also stays with me, and it provides me a very different stress buster space. That you have your mother, you have your children, you have your wife. What do you expect more than that? But other than that, like I said, with age you adopt a more healthier lifestyle. So I do yoga every morning. I try to do it 6 days a week. So which has a combination of yoga and some stretching and some exercise part. So that keeps me in good state. If I get access to a golf course and weather permits, I try to play once a week. Depending on where I am. But I found that our job is a very different job. Our job provides you a lot of scope
Variety.
to kind of entertain yourself in a very healthy way. So when yesterday, for example, I went to the Met, and in 2.5 hours I got a glimpse of 6 galleries, from the Egyptian gallery to South Asian gallery to the Chinese to the Japanese, and the Greek and Roman. So now you get those things which enrich you as a person, and that also gives you some inner satisfaction, some inner entertainment. So I would say probably it's not very difficult to have a smile on face if you're an Indian diplomat, because your job profile is interesting, and I'm lucky that I have a loving family.
Wonderful. So interesting job profiles, and the way you described tells me that there is a lot of inquisitiveness in you to learn, to see, to understand, and of course to appreciate. So is there any author or certain books that you have found yourself very much inspired by?
I would say, for me, I find interest in books related to current development. So of late, I started actually 15 years back to study more about the different aspects, different facets of globalization. 5 years back, I started reading books about the frontier technologies. So I would read about a Tony Seba book about how the world is going towards automation, or how energy is going to be so cheap that people would all be having abundant energy. So now basically I'm looking for similar literature about the frontier technologies of artificial intelligence. So current development books on that, articles on that interest me. To like I said, we have a target of being a developed country by 2047. So it shows that we are yet to reach there. But at the same point of time, we have so much to be proud of. The journey that we have made from 1947, and particularly on the background in which we started the journey from 1947. So I take both 15th August and 26th January as a time when I reflect upon the successes we have made, because that immediately gives me the understanding of what more to be done. But I also take this opportunity to remember people who sacrificed in very different ways for our independence and making us a republic. And I would request your viewers, particularly from Indian diaspora, to do the same.
Wonderful. Such an enlightening experience to be sitting with the Srikant Sarkarji, Pradhanji, and as I always feel, we have done something good in India to come up with people like him, and most of the diplomats that I got the opportunity of sitting with, you get a sense of an intelligent mind functioning in resonance with the spirit of Bharat, and it is a source of delight as well as source of inspiration. And a matter of pride also. There is much more that we will learn from you, as well as we will collaborate on serving Indian American community. Once again, welcoming you with lots and lots of good wishes on behalf of me, ITV Gold, our chairman, and all the members of Indian diaspora, meeting you with this
Thank you.
conversation.
Thank you so much.
Once again, namaste.